Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Agbaji. You're welcome to this class, Instructional Technology for Secondary Educators, IT 360 A and B class. I'm going to be teaching you guys how you can use your iMovie application. iMovie is an Apple software on your MacBooks and Mac desktop and other Apple devices. I'm going to be showing you how it is so much fun to use iMovie software on your MacBook. In this very tutorial, you're going to learn how to crop images, crop pictures, crop videos, and do some color editing. You're going to learn how to cut some part of any kind of image or video you really don't want. You're going to also learn how to remove a background and integrate a new one. I'm also going to teach you or take you around the iMovie environment so you could get to become more familiar with the iMovie environment and you get your way around things easily. Now you're also going to learn how to keep track of the videos and accessories on the scene panel. The scene panel is part of the iMovie environment that I'll be showing you. How you can tell what to do, how to place things in the appropriate way, in the right place, and making modification on the timeline and ensuring that there's a kind of a consistency. I'm going to teach you all that. I'm also going to teach you how you can add some cool stuffs, add some stunts on the iMovie environment, like transitions, sound effects, animations, etc. At the end of this very video tutorial, you're going to learn how you can render your video, or in other words, share it on different platforms that you want other people to get access to your end product of a video you've edited. So thank you very much. Stay with me in this very tutorial and you're going to learn a lot. So let us kick it started. First, I like to believe that you all know how to get your way around your MacBook or how to use the Mac operating system. However, just for reiteration, I'm going to show you how you can become more familiar with your MacBook. Now, Mac is kind of a very unique operating system. The Mac OS is a very unique operating system. It's not like your PC, which is very easy to get a way around. So how do you gain access to your iMovie software? Very easy. There are two ways to actually do that. Well, there might be many ways, but I know about two ways that you can actually do that. First, you want to go to your Launchpad, which is the most easiest. You go down here, you bring your cursor, you drag it down to the bottom of your Windows, and then you go to the Launchpad. If the Launchpad is not there, I'm going to show you how you can actually get your way around it. So when you click on the Launchpad, it pulls up different applications on your system. As you can see, there are a lot of applications on my system, and the only one I'm looking for is this one, iMovie. Sometimes you might find it a little bit difficult accessing that very application you're looking for, especially when you have tons of other applications installed on your computer. So how do you get about it? You just search. You use the search bar and then you type iMovie, and then it's going to come up with that very icon iMovie here. Also, what we could do is to use your Finder. Your Finder, it's kind of like the Windows Explorer on your computer, on the PC computer, that helps you to access resources, libraries on your computer, and different directories on your computer. So there's a shortcut to do that, a hotkey that you can use. You can either press down your command key and the space key on your keyboard, and what you do is going to pop out the search bar of your Finder, and then I will just type what I'm looking for. I want to look for the iMovie. Now once I start typing, it's going to bring related software and other resources all over my computer. Any resource on my computer that start with the name iMovie is going to pull them out. So as you can see, there are different resources. The first one, it's an application. The second is kind of a definition. The third is an image. The fourth is a movie that I've created with the name iMovie on it. And you have different other resources. Perfect. Now, once you're done locating the iMovie software, let's go back to the Launchpad and you click on it. It's going to pull up the environment of the iMovie. Now, a quick start. I've already created a project folder for this very tutorial that I'm teaching. However, I want to show you how you can go about creating a project. Now, project folder. Now, one of the reasons why we normally create a project folder is so that we can have all our video editing resources in a very organized manner. You don't want your resources that you're going to be using, resources like your graphics, your animation, your text, your audio clips, your video clips, and all the resources that you're going to be using on your video during editing. You don't want it to be all over your computer. You don't want it to save it at different locations or directories that is going to be difficult for you to locate. You want to save them in a single folder for easy accessibility. And this is what I'm going to show you. So first, we're going to create a folder. Now, I've already created a folder, but I want to show you how you can go about doing that. So you want to come here. Okay, let's go back a little bit. I think you guys didn't see what I just did. Did you? Okay, I'm going to back to my media. Let's go back to my media. Okay, so you click here, project. Once you click on project, it's gonna pull out a kind of a windows like this one, and then you select the project, or if you already have a project folder, you select the project folder you really want to work on, or if you don't, you want to create a project. So for this, I think most of you haven't created a project folder yet, so you create new project. Once you click on create new, it's going to pop out two options. Okay, you can either start from a fresh kind of project, or you can use a template. Now, what we want to do is to start from the scratch. So you click on it. Okay, let's start from the scratch, okay? You click on it and then you have the scratch here. Now, we have created a project, but we haven't named it yet. So I want to name this very project. So you go back and say project, and then I want to name it as, we can say tutorial. We can say iMovie tutorial for IT360 A and B class. Okay, so once we're done naming, it's going to come over to the project environment where I can see all the projects that I've created before and now. So the recent one I just created is going to be the first one. As you can see, it's iMovie tutorial for IT360 A and B class. So I want to double click on it, and then it brings up the actual environment. Now quickly, before I start importing media that we're going to be using for this very video tutorial, I want to show you how the whole iMovie environment works. The iMovie environment is a very simple environment. It's more like your Microsoft Word text processing environment, which is your MS Word. It's just like any other application you're going to be using. So this is a Windows for the iMovie environment. At the top on your MacBook, you can see different functionalities you can actually apply on your iMovie environment. And then the iMovie environment is separated into 4 sections, which we normally call panels in video editing. You have the first one at the extreme left corner of your windows, and it's called the project media. Now, this very project media gives you access to different resources on your computer. Resources like videos, like pictures, and stuff like that, other libraries. Now, the whole of this from the left here down to this very segment, they're all called the project media. However, this very section kind of review all the media that you are going to be using on your project. Now, when I click on audio, it's going to pull up all audios on the computer. But these are not audios on your project folder. They're just audios on your computer. They are not on your folder yet. I'm going to show you how you can actually pull them into your folder. And here when I click on titles, it's going to show me titles that are already on the iMovie software. So here you have titles that you can use on your video while editing. And then you have backgrounds that you can also use. You have transitions. All these are on your project panel that we can use. So quickly, I'm going to import some media into our project folder. And our project folder, don't forget the name is already here at the top, indicating that we are actually working in a folder. Please don't forget that. It's very, very paramount for you to have that at the back of your mind, that creating the folder for your project is pivotal to the success of your video editing. If ever you don't want to go around looking for things and you find it difficult to locate it. Before we import our media, quickly, I just want to tell you a little bit about this. This is called the preview, the video preview panel. The video preview panel has a toolbar at the top, and it has different tools for different purposes like color balance, and here color corrections, cropping to, stabilization, volume, noise reduction and equalizer. You have speed, you have clip filter and audio effect, and then you have clip information. Now here it's going to be where our video is going to be previewed, and we can play it by clicking on the play button and we can take it back a little bit and take it forward, revise, rewind, and fast forward it. This is a place where all the good stuff happens. Okay, all the cool good stuff really happens here on this very panel. And this panel is called a timeline panel. Video editors actually call it the scene panel. Whatever you want to call it, just know that you can also call it a cool stuff panel. Okay, so we can drag and drop whatever we want to edit on our project here on a panel. This is where all the editing takes place. This is where all the viewing of whatever we are editing takes place. This is where all the resources we're going to be using on our computer takes place. Please don't forget. I'll take that. I'll try to go through this once more before the end of the tutorial. So quickly, let us import some media into our project. So we just click on the down arrow bar, and once you click on it, it's going to take you to your system directory, your local drive directories, or your local drive documents on your local drive, so that you can actually import whatever you want to import. Now the first thing that I want to import is a video, because that's what I want to edit. Now I can import the video, and I want to select more than that. I have an audio sound here. I hold down the command key while selecting multiple resources, and then I click on that very icon or the resource that I want to select. Don't forget, if you want to select multiple resources that you want to import into your project folder, you must hold down the command key on your keyboard and then use your cursor and your mouse to select other resources. So I've selected these, and it looks cool. I would like to select one more resource, but it's not here. I'm going to locate it on my computer. But first, let me import what I've selected. So I'll go down here. As you can see, I'll click on import selected. Now, automatically, it pulls all the resources that I have actually selected in the previous windows onto my iMovie tutorial for IT360 A and B class folder. So now I have access to it. Okay. However, I'm not done selecting all the resources that I really want to select, okay? Because there are some resources that I want to select that are in a different folder. And that's one of the reasons why we really want all our resources to be on the same folder. Please don't forget that. If you're going to be at any point in your career as a secondary educator, you're going to be editing videos or creating your lessons and all that for the students or in a class, you really want to create a folder to hold everything. Okay, it's for different reasons, not just for easy accessibility, but also for future purposes. Should you at any point in time really want to give it out, the resources to other people to learn from it, you don't want to go looking helter-skelter. Okay, so I want to pull down more. Now remember, the first step that I did in order for me to import other resources was to click on a down arrow icon here, but it's no longer here. But so how do I go about it? I have to click on this one. Do you see it? Perfect. So it's at the top now. So I click on it. Now it's going to take me to that same directory on my computer where I actually imported the previous two resources. But that's not the directory where I really want to use this time. I want to go back to my main hard drive. And then I want to go on the here learning. I want to look for background image. Background. See, I can type, and this is one fun part of your MacBook iOS or OS, sorry. It's very easy for you to actually locate whatever you're looking for, even though you don't have a search bar. You can easily just Control F, or you can just keep typing on that same directory, and whatever resource that has a similar name to what you're typing is going to pop up. Okay, so as you can see, I have a selection here, and this is the actual image I really want to use. But you see, it would have taken me tons of hours, if not because I'm able to use the search functionality. That's one of the reasons why you want to have everything on the same folder. So I'm going to click here, double click on it, and then import that very image onto my project folder on iMovie. Now quickly, let us talk through this a little bit before we continue editing. Now, I've told you guys that here we're going to learn some cool stuff. Remember how I told you the different panels, what they represent, and their functions, and how you can use them? This is the time we need to do them. We need to use them. So we are going to drag in first our video, and as I hover around the video using my cursor, you can see on the preview panel, it's actually previewing. Do you see that? Whatever I hover around, it's going to preview, but it's not yet on the timeline. It's not yet on my project. For editing, I can't edit from here. So I need to place them somewhere where I can actually edit them. And this is the place where I told you where all the cool stuffs happen. So I'm going to drag this very video. To drag, you just hold down your cursor or click on that very resource that you want to drag and pull it. Okay? And pull it. You can either pull to the timeline or you click on the little icon. Let me take it back again. Now there are two ways for you to add resources onto your timeline. Okay, you can either drag and pull, okay, into your timeline here. Now it doesn't really matter where you place it though, but it's always very good you place it at a very accessible place. Now, if you could see very carefully, while you were trying to place this very video clip onto the timeline or the scene panel of your iMovie software, there is a vertical arrow here, and this vertical arrow is called the playhead. Now, whenever you play the video or whatever you have on your computer, the vertical arrow is going to move from left to right when you play. Now that vertical arrow, as I said, is called the playhead, and sometimes it's it's it determines the position that is being played. Perfect. So um, it's very important for you to know that the vertical timeline plays a very unique role in video editing. Whatever point on your timeline that a vertical playhead is located, it shows on your preview. So let's say I take the vertical timeline over as I drag it from left to right. You can see it previews this specific position where the playhead is located. Do you see that? I can take it a little bit further, down and all that. It's very important. I will tell you why we need to understand that in the later as we continue. Good. So now I have my video here. The other thing I want to do is to bring the image, the background image that I want to replace the video image with. So I can either, so what I want to do is to place the playhead at a position where I want that very image to be located. And then I come here, I can either drag the image to that very playhead position, or I could just click add the selection to the movie. Do you see that? And it adds to the position where the playhead was at before. So it's very important for you to know that the position of the playhead plays a vital role. Plays a vital role in the location of resources on your timeline or the scene panel of your iMovie. So I'm quickly going to drag this here, and as I drag, you can see this way and all that, it plays and all that. But in order for me to make this image, the background image of this very video, I need to place this image beneath the video clip. Now this is where your understanding of layers works and is very pivotal. Okay, layers is very important. Your understanding of layers is very important. It's like stacking things on each other. Which is going to be first? Which are you going to see first? And let's say I have my hands placed together this way. I'm going to see this one first, right? And that is how your iMovie actually works. Whatever resource you're going to be having here on your timeline works that way. It's as easy as that. So I want my movie to show first, the video clip to show first, but I want this very background to be beneath. So it means my image in the video is going to be at the top of this very background image. Okay, perfect. So we want to drag it beneath. So when I move it beneath, you can see for some reasons it actually reduces the size of the image. So how do we go about locating it? How do we make sure that whatever is on the timeline, we can actually see it? You can see the image is here now, but I don't just want it to be there. I want it to be beneath. Okay, the image is still here, but I can't see it until I hover around that area, and then you can see it on the preview. So how do I increase the size of the resources on my timeline? It's very simple. What I want to do is to hit the command key on my keyboard and also continuously press the plus sign key on my keyboard so that I can increase the size of whatever that is on my timeline or the scene panel of the iMovie. So when I do that, you can see that that very icon, the image icon, is now bigger, and as I zoom out, you can also see that the zoom in rather, you can also see that it's getting bigger. I can do it one more time. You can see the size of it is now bigger more. I can do it again, it's now bigger. Now the reason why you need to do this is so that you can have access to reducing, cropping, cutting, and adding items onto the timeline, especially when they are very small, when the original size of those icons or thumbnails are very small. And that's one of the reasons why you need to do that. Other than that, maybe if you want it to be more conspicuous so that you can see it very well, whatever is on your timeline, you can also do that. Okay, perfect. Now let's go editing whatever we have here. So the first thing I want to do is to move this image down, just like I told you. So I want to reduce this way, come here. Okay, my bad. Yeah, I'll take this out and bring this on this way and bring this down. Okay. So I can move this playhead here. Take this off and increase this way. Okay, now I have my image background underneath the video clip on the timeline. And now that I've actually gotten that ready, I want to reduce or to zoom out, okay? To zoom out of the timeline so that I can see the end of my video clip. Okay, now I can see the end of the video clip, and that will make it more easier for me to align the video clip to the background image that I have down. Now, as you now how to align, this is more like cropping, okay? This is cropping, and it's very easy for you to do that. Now, I want you to know this. The moment you try cropping a video clip, either from left or from the right hand side to whatever direction, you are actually taking a part of the video from the original file. So you really want to be sure of whatever part you want to take out and what part you want to have left on the video clip. Okay. So right now I don't want to take part of the end of the video clip. However, I want the background to align with the video clip. Else it's not going to work that way. I'm going to show you what I mean later on as we edit the background of this very video clip and have this background image that is underneath the video clip to replace the background image of the video clip. Okay, now that is not hard, that is very simple. So now that I have my background image underneath the original video clip, I want to edit the video clip background by taking out the video clip background. So the first thing I want to do is to select the video clip, the one I want to edit now. You can do that by just clicking on it, and then how do I know it's selected? You can see the yellow kind of boundary around it. Now let me go out of it. Now you can't see it anymore. You see that? Now when you click on it, you can see it. You see the yellow boundary around it, the yellow margin around it. Okay, perfect. So now that we have that, we come over to the preview. Remember I told you that at the top of the preview panel, you have what I call the toolbar. Okay, so these are the toolbars. So I'm going to click here and then come down here and click green blue screen, and then it will automatically takes away or delete the original background that was on the video clip. And the original background on the video clip was a green background because the video was recorded in a green room. So now you don't have that anymore. Now I have to show you what I mean by aligning the image background to the video clip. So let's take the playhead. The way we do that is to come here at the vertical arrow, which is called the playhead, and drag it to the beginning or to the start of your image video clip. So now let's play. You can play either by pressing the space bar or coming here to play. Okay. Now you see we have a nice background already. However, how you would use your smartphone so that you can become more smart. However, as I was saying, the background ends here. Watch my cursor. The background ends here. Okay, so after that you don't have it anymore. So how do you stretch the background to cover all this area? That's what we're gonna do. Quickly, and just in case you're wondering what I was speaking, I was actually speaking in Pidgin. Pidgin is a Nigerian language. It's more like a slang of the English language that is spoken in Nigeria. So the playhead ended here, and if you take your cursor to that very location, what you can see is an empty background, a black background, as you can see here. But I don't want a black background to show. I want this very background to show. Okay, so what I want to do is to stretch the image file background to the end so that it will align with the video clip here. Isn't that amazing? We can do that. So let's do it quickly. You bring your cursor here, and the moment you bring your cursor, you could see the right arrow indicator, okay, indicating that you press the R key while dragging to select a range. So you can do that if you want to. So I want to drag from there. You see that? You can drag, or you can select a range, like how far do you want it to go. For me, I just drag. You see that? And once you start dragging, do you know what happens? It snaps to the other a video clip file. So the beginning, as you can see, it has the same beginning and end as the file above it. It's that simple, and that's why I said iMovie video editing environment is a very simple environment for you to get your way around it. It's not as difficult as your Adobe Premiere Pro and other sophisticated video editing software. So you're going to be good. Now we've gotten a background on the beautiful movie or the video clip that we have. Isn't that amazing? So let's play it again.
Now say, may you take control of your smartphone, because
okay, please, I don't think it sounds weird, because you can see I'm speaking at different position, and for some reason you're thinking maybe I'm actually talking at someone. Not at all. There are actually two cameras in that very green room that was used to record my presentation of a script. So I have to move from one direction to the other. I'm going to show you guys something of that nature, maybe some other time in the future, but not now in this very video. This video is more like the nitty-gritty of video editing. So back to what we're trying to say. Now, I want to make sure that in order for me to add other resources on my timeline or the scene panel of my iMovie, I have a good look of my panel. So remember what I said, in order for you to zoom in, you need to hold down your command key, and then you actually click, just press on your plus sign key, and then it actually increases the size of whatever that is on your timeline. Let's do it one more time. Perfect. Now we've gotten this. But let's go back again and play. Maybe there's something we are actually not doing right. Look at this. A lot of space. You don't want to have this on a website because it looks weird. I mean, trying to get prepared and trying to look good is not part of the whole presentation. Now, I want my presentation to start around there, maybe a little bit before that time, just a little bit, when my eyes are is relaxed, you know, when I'm not speaking. Okay, let's see this one. Okay. Oh no, my eyes are still, I don't want my eyes to be that way. Perfect. So let's leave it at this very point. But how do I crop out those other points I don't want? How do I crop out the whole of this side? It's very simple. So what I want to do is to just bring my cursor here at the beginning of the video clip, and then once I do that, watch the preview panel. The preview panel is showing an empty background. That's the part I want to take out. So I'm going to take, use mine, and we'll call it a crop into future. on iMovie. So I'm going to trim it away all the way to that very point where my playhead is located. Don't forget, that is called the playhead, and I've told you it's very important. And this is one of the reasons why we always place the playhead at a certain position for easy editing and to know what part we need to take out and what part we need to have left. So whatever that is before the playhead, which is the left hand side, I have actually taken out. And whatever that is after, with respect to the video that I have here, the video clip, whatever that is after the playhead is left there on the timeline. So I could come here and then I can reduce this as well. Do you see that? Perfect. So you don't need to think about, using a tool to cut and all that. This is just one simple way of going to do everything at the same time. So let's play it from the start and see how that works. Let's see.
Perfect. How you would use your smartphone so that you can become more smarter.
Now, if you remember, if you actually watch very carefully, you could see that there's a word perfect there. I don't want that perfect to show, but I want to start somewhere here. So I can just do the same thing, making sure that is actually aligned with the playhead. Perfect. And then here also. Good. Now we are good to go. Perfect. So let's play it from the start and see. So let's drag our playhead, to the beginning of the whole clip and then play.
How you would use your smartphone so that you can become more smart.
So that is how you can actually crop and trim different part of your video resources or your video clip that you want to edit. Now let's say we want to split a video with its background, so that you have one part at the left hand side, the other part at the right hand side, because we want to create a transition. Let's say we want to do that. Okay, let's say maybe after the introduction of the title of this very presentation, I just want that to happen. Let's play.
How you would use your smartphone so that you can become more smarter.
Okay, so let's say I want to split this very part, where the playhead is located, because that's where I introduce the title of this presentation. I would just highlight this and then right click on it. And to right click, if you're not using an external mouse, if you're using the mouse, the inbuilt mouse on your Mac, you just hold your two fingers, on the mouse, and then you click on it. So you can say split clip. Okay? So when you say split clip, it's gonna split, the whole clip that you have selected into two. Okay, it's using this very playhead as a point of splitting. Okay, it's more like putting the mark on an object with a marker and then saying that you're going to cut through at that position where the marker is located. The marker in this sense is the playhead. The playhead is where we want to cut, from. So we have used the position of the playhead to divide the two resources, the video clip and the background image, into two by using the split option after you've selected it by clicking on the right click. Perfect. So now we have two clips. Here you have this clip and you have its own background. You have this clip and you have its own background. So I want to move this a little bit further, okay, because I have something very cool I want to do in mind. So I can just come here, select, and drag. Do you see that? I can come here, select and drag. Come here. Well, it doesn't really matter. I can just drag it here. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to add a text here, kind of a title text here. In between. But before I do that, I want to add a background, an introduction background somewhere and I want something very cool. What do we choose? What do we go for? Okay, educational map. Do we go for that? I want something really cool that has something to do with what we are talking about here. Okay, let's see. Okay, well, I'm lacking the sense of judgment on what to choose from. Okay, let's do this. I'm just going to choose this educational steel. Let's see, educational map. Maybe it's going to roll itself or something like that. Okay, I'm going to place it somewhere here. I'm going to drag this one a little bit away. I'm going to place this here. Now, don't forget, whatever you place at the top, it's going to show before it's going to show before it actually shows whatever is beneath. In other words, what I'm trying to say is this very image that I have placed here, which is a background, is going to show before the background image that is beneath it. In other words, if I don't want this to show at all, I can adjust it. Come here, select this, and then I will adjust it to the size of this one. Or I can increase this to the size of this so that they actually align together, and then you're not going to see any of that. Okay? You got it? Perfect. Now that we are done with that, I want to add a text. I want to add an introductory text. So you go to your project panel and then you click on titles. I want something very cool. Something really cool. Let's see how this is going to play out. Okay, let's add this one. I'm going to add it here. I'm going to call it. So the moment you bring a text onto the timeline and you place it at the top, it's going to show that first. So as you can see, since I placed the text 2 at the top of this very image or the background image, the text 2 is on the top. So I don't need to do any big deal. It's not that difficult. So what I want to do is to write the title of my video clip that I'm actually editing. So I can just click out and show you. So I can click here, double click on it, and I can say smartly using your smartphones. Now, the moment I start typing, you can see the properties of the text comes out. As you can see, it has the T here as a title settings highlighted, and then you have the font option as a property of that very text, and this is a font type that you can actually choose from, and the current font type name is called Sign Painter House Script. If you want to select a different font type, you can actually do that. It's not quite difficult, but I think this one looks a little bit cool. I can change the font color if I want to do so. In order to do that, you can select this very square shape icon that has a white background on it, and then when you hover your cursor around it, it says select text color. So I want to click on it, and once I do, it's going to bring out a text palette panel here. Well, for some reasons, by default, it comes to the bottom left corner of my screen, and then I can select whatever. Now, as you can see, when I begin to decide on what to select, what color I want to select from this very color palette, you will see that when I click on any of the degree of color that we have here around this very cycle, it also previews the color that I'm selecting. So that way I'll know how it fits to the background that we got here. Okay, I think this looks a little bit better because it has a green color and it's lined on a blue kind of background with the ocean and some vegetations So it looks very good. If you want to increase the degree or the intensity of your color, you can actually do that by using this very tool here. You can do that. Perfect. Okay, so you just drag it, from left to right or whatever direction you want to increase it, and then you'll be certainly fine. Isn't that amazing? Now we can also change the font type, just like I earlier said. Let's say we want to change it to Futorial Medium, so it will be more readable and people can actually see it very well. And then let's go back again and let's change it to green, the color to green. Let's go back, change the color to green. And then I want to, yeah, perfect. So we have that already. Perfect. So we have an introduction page already, but I don't want it to go beyond that. Perfect. So let's play it and see how it looks like. Okay, perfect. Now we are done adding a clip for the introduction part of our video. What we want to do is to go over to a transition, because when I play this, let's play it again and let's see. There's no sound. It looks very dull. And then it just goes to the main video clip. We don't want that to happen. We want a kind of transition so viewers can know they are leaving a part of the whole video clip, a scene of the video clip, to a different one. That is one of the reasons for creating transitions. So we're going to take our playhead to the beginning of the main video clip, and I'm going to add a transition. So I come right here, click on transition option or transition 2 on the project panel, and then you can see there are different transitions that we can use. Which one do we want to use? You have the cross dissolve, you have cross blur, you have fade to black, you have fade to white, spinning, spin out. There's one I really love, the swap. The swap is so cool. You don't want to miss it for anything, not even for, for the fade to or the spinning or the spin out. Okay, so let's see. So as I said, I placed that very playhead on the position I want to use, and then I place this here. Now it's going to use the gap, the space. I want to take it here. It's okay. Apply. Bring it here. Or better still, let's do it this way. Perfect. 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 That's what I'm looking for. Now, don't forget, this doesn't really matter. I don't need this because this very background is covering this background already. So this is not necessary. I can delete it. If I want to delete, I can hit the delete after selecting the very resource or the clip that I want to delete. And then I can either right click on it and say delete, or hit the delete button on my keyboard. Okay, so I can just say delete. But when I delete it, you can see it actually goes with this. It's not like it's deleting this very part. It's just that when I delete the one underneath, it's a little bit difficult for me to locate this very one. So for now, I'm going to leave it that way. However, if you want to delete, you right click, you delete it, okay? So the transition is actually here, and let's see how this works. Okay, let's play this and see. No sound, we're going to add a sound, don't worry. Let's see how the transition works.
Become more smarter.
Okay, so for some reasons, it's still showing some parts. So how do we see that part? We increase we zoom in so we can see what is actually there. It's actually there. Can't see. It seems a little bit difficult for me to find that. Okay, let me detach this. Hmm. Yep. Okay, let's play it now. Take our playhead over here and play. Oh, perfect. So I want to reduce this to this extent. Let's see now.
Come on.
Oh, I see. So that's the reason. Hmm.
Become more smart. Smarter.
Hmm. So that's how you add your transition. And then let's say you want to add a volume, sorry, of sound clip underneath this very introduction part of the video. You can come over to your media, and don't forget we actually imported a sound here into our folder. So I just come here and place it underneath. And then let's play it from the beginning.
Become more.
Now, as you can see, the moment I add the sound and I've played it, it's actually playing alongside the background. But you can see this is a sound clip that I added, and it's going all the way to the end because it's very long. Now, every object or every resources you're adding on your timeline or the scene panel of your iMovie, if it is a video, if it is a sound clip, it all has time, recording time on it. And that's why this panel is called timeline. And the recording time determines how long that very resource is going to play. For the video, it's this very video clip was to play for like 6 minutes 59 seconds, and the playhead is at the 36th seconds. If I move the playhead here, 35, 37. As you can see, it's actually showing us indication that this very resource has a time line. It has a recording time allocated to it. For pictures, it's not the same. However, since it's on the timeline and we are using a similar timeline with respect to the video clip, it's actually taking the video clip timeline, but pictures don't have a recording time. Okay, and that's why we can expand a picture to any limit we want to, so it could cover the whole video clip as a background. Now, here we have an audio clip that we added, and it has actually taken beyond the very precision we wanted to stop. We wanted to stop within this very limit here, at the end of this very introduction, but it went, as you can see, it extended beyond where we wanted to stop. So how do we go about making it stop? Well, for us to see the end of that very video, the audio clip, is very simple. As you can see, we can either drag this very button here, and we can keep dragging until we get to the end, but that's going to take a long time. So the simple way to do that is to click on your command button and then your minus sign button, and then it brings everything into perspective for you to see. So we want to reduce this very audio, reduce it. Yeah, make it this way so it could align itself to the whole two of this. And then we got this image. We want it to be aligned to this very video clip. Yep. Now let's play it from the start and see how this works.
Become more smarter. You don't know, say you fit increase the.
Now for some reason, there is a stop somewhere. There's a kind of an interruption somewhere. Okay, yeah, here we go. So this actually stopped somewhere here because we deleted a part of this, which you should have deleted because we cropped it out. And now let's play this and see. Let's bring this closer. Now let's play.
Okay, perfect. How you would use your smartphone so that you.
Okay, let's reduce it here because the perfect that I said is still there because I undid it. So let's go back. Let's play.
How you would use your smartphone so that you can become more smarter. You don't know, say you fit increase the power within your brain so that you fit get to learn well. In fact, imagine say.
Now I also want to add an introduction like my name here in the background. So what I want to do is to go to the project panel and click on titles, and then I've actually thought about using this very cool one. I'm going to drag and place it at the top of the clip that I want it to be on, and in this case I want it to be on the video clip. So I'm quickly going to drag this, elongate it a little bit, come here a little bit, and then I click on it. Now I have to double click on it so that it's selected, and then the playhead actually comes to that very clip that I want to see on the preview, and then I can go to the preview and edit the text on the preview. So I want the first text to be my name, and then I want to say smartly using your smartphone. That will be the title of the presentation, and then I click out. Now take the playhead there again and double click and preview it. Let's see.
Smartphone so that you can become more smarter. You don't know, say you fit increase.
Perfect. Now we are done. Let me reduce or zoom out of the timeline as I've taught you guys, and then I can go to the titles, and then I want to go to, let's say, credit. You want to give credit to whoever has spoken or something like that. Or if you have someone taking the camera for you, recording in the green room, and you want to show them that you've actually done this, you can just come here and drag and drop here. It doesn't really matter where you actually place it anymore. You can just place it here. So I want the title of this to be, so you come here, say title, select this. I can say credit, right? Credit. So you highlight the text you want to edit, and then you start typing. I can say credit. And then I can say Daniel Agbaji. And I can say presenter. And then I can type Daniel Agbaji. Technician. I can type whatever you want to, type whatever you want to type. I can say Ian Hall, instructor. Okay, and then if you want to take out all of this, you can just delete them if you don't want them. As simple as that. Okay, isn't that amazing? Now I want to make sure this is aligned. Okay, sorry. So they all have the same arrangement. We have to be very meticulous when we are actually placing this. So everything is going to be well arranged. Take this back this way. Okay, I'm using the space key, the space bar key on my computer, to just like you use on text editing software. That's not a big deal. Yeah, so you can type more if you want to. Let me just copy and paste because of our time. I don't want to type more. Perfect. So copy and paste. So it can actually scroll better the way we want it to. Perfect. Do you see that? So I'm going to copy and paste again. And then I take this in, take this a little bit in. Yeah, I think we should be done. So let's go back and play it from the start. So we are playing it from the start. Perfect.
How you will use your smartphone so that you can become more smarter. You don't know, say you fit.
Because of our time, I'm going to just fast forward this, and then you can see the credit. Now, one little bit tiny stuff we haven't done on the credit. It's not well formatted. I know you guys can actually find your way to do that. It's not very difficult to do. Yeah, so that's all for today. There are other complex stuff you can actually do, but because of our time, I'm not going to go into that. Now that we are done, we want to come over here and render our video. So I'm going to go back to media. Still here. Playhead, fine, perfect. So now I'm going to render the video. Now there are many ways to do that. You can click share. Now if you want it to be saved on your computer, I would advise you select the file. If you want to send it into a video recording website, a video playing website like YouTube, you can do that. Maybe Theater, which is an Apple video sharing website, you can do that. Or you want to send it via email to any of your students, you can do that. iTunes also, if you want to have it on iTunes, you can do that. What I want to do for now, for this tutorial, is to save it first on my computer. Okay, so I keep going. Next. Now it tells me that the size is 1.8 gigabyte. As an estimate, is a rough estimate. It might be more than that. And the time that it is going to take this very video to finish playing is 7 minutes 7 seconds. Um, if I want to add it to theater, I can actually do that. I don't want to do that. Now remember, I created a folder on my computer that I want this to be saved, and it's called training folder iMovie project. Well, if I want to do that, I can do that, but I want to locate it, to be very sure that it's actually the folder. So I come here, yep, it is the folder, and then I click save. And then when you give it just a moment or two, it's going to save into that very directory. So let's go back to the directory and see if it's there. Okay, so we have it as, let me refresh this. Still trying to save, it's still saving. So we're gonna give it time. Thank you very much guys for watching this very video tutorial. Once you're done saving this very the cycle showing the progress or the progression of your saving or your sharing of the video, it's going to be full cycle, and then you know that your video has been saved into the directory that you intended to save. Right now it hasn't, and that's why it doesn't show any icon or any thumbnail for the video. It's very blank. Okay, so that's how to go about using iMovie for video editing. And there are a lot of cool stuff that I would have shown you guys, but for the sake of your assignment and the project you're going to be doing, this is all you might need that is necessary for you to know. However, if you have any kind of issue shooting iMovie, or if you kind of want to do some complex stuff and you need some assistance from me, I am open to help you if I don't have a lot on my plate. And even though I do have a lot on my plate, I'm going to figure out a way to help you. Okay, so thank you guys for watching this very video tutorial. IT 360 instructional technology for secondary educators. You guys really rock. Have a great time. Bye.